It is Tuesday, July 1st. Here's what we're working on this morning. First of all, happy Canada Day. Simone Gavros is going to take a look at the celebrations in our area.
A man near Brantford is being treated for rabies after a bat tested positive.
And big moves already in the NHL, even before free agency began. This is a very big day in the village of Linden.
Yes. Yes.
Brian will be the Grand Marshal of the parade.
Excellent. Have you been practicing, Brian?
I've been practicing. I've had 2 years to practice because I was the parade marshal last year and the year before.
Alrighty.
So I get to do it again this year.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. I'm just making sure I'm all set here today. Okay. I've got my mic in the right spot. There I am.
So
tapping
what time
the mic.
is that parade this afternoon?
The parade is 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Okay.
And then we move over to the Lions Park and we have all the festivities and all the fun and all the food and all the celebrations.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
And of course, the fireworks after that. So
Yeah.
Very good. Very
Looking
good.
forward to it. And we're hoping for a nice day today.
You'll be the one to hear it if you don't get it.
That is the problem. You know, when you're sitting out the front of the parade and it's pouring rain and you're going, gee, I'm
Sorry,
so
everyone.
embarrassed. But hopefully it won't be pouring rain. Hopefully we're going to see some sunshine for the day today. We are looking right now at a fairly cloudy start and fairly misty, fairly hazy with the fog as well. Temperature is warm. It's 21 with a humidex of 29 already. And it's going to be a fairly warm day today, 27, feeling like about 32. But there is a chance of a shower or a thunderstorm as the day progresses. So there's that. And it's a slim chance, but I must mention it is there. Tonight, skies will clear. Tomorrow, a lovely sunny day. So it's just that chance of a shower. So we'll talk about that coming up. Shall we check traffic and see if there's anything going on? There's a few cars, and that's what we do on holidays is we count cars. There's a few there. That's about it on our exclusive camera. Let's check some MTO traffic cameras. Centennial Parkway, nothing to see. Top of the Skyway Bridge looks good. All the way around the Horseshoe, we've got nothing going on the roads. But please take it carefully today if you're on the road today. We'll look at weather and traffic coming up in a few minutes. Right now, the news.
Okay, thanks very much, Brian. And there are a number of Canada Day celebrations taking place across the region today to mark the country's 158th birthday. And that includes celebrations at Burlington's Spencer Smith Park. That's where we find our Simone Gavros this morning. Hello.
Good morning, Annette. Yeah, the celebrations are going to be kicking off here at Spencer Smith Park, starting with their annual race. Now, they're already starting to set up here. Right behind me is the start and finish line. I'm told there's going to be 1,300 racers here today for 3 races, including a dog race. And this is all sold out here today, so it's going to be very exciting. It's a little bit windy here. You can see that people are tying down some of the tablecloths over there under the tent, but otherwise still a lovely day. This is all going to kick off around 9 a.m. They're raising money for local charities, including the Mental Health and Addictions Program at Joseph Brent Hospital and Hamilton Food Share. There's going to be free yoga, food vendors, and, of course, fireworks today. Now, almost all fireworks shows across our region are taking place tonight at 10 p.m. There'll be a drone show here at Spencer Smith Park around 9:40 tonight before the fireworks start. And over in Thorold, the city is celebrating its 50th birthday today as well, and they'll have fireworks at the Battle of Beaver Dams Park. Now here's a look at what's open and closed today across our region. Grocery stores and the LCBO will be closed, along with some beer stores. Libraries, post offices, malls, and banks are closed today as well. Transit services are running on weekend or holiday schedules, and garbage collection is pushed one day in Hamilton and Halton, but there's no changes in the Niagara region and in Brantford. So this morning we're going to be speaking to a number of people. Racers should be showing up soon in the next couple of hours. We'll be talking to people then. We'll be talking to the race director, and we'll be also talking to the Burlington mayor here, Marianne Mead Ward. For now, things back over to you, Rick.
Thank you, Simone. An 85-year-old Hagersville woman is missing. Mary Ann was last seen just after 5 yesterday afternoon, walking on King Street in Hagersville. Haldeman OPP have not provided her last name. She's white, about 5 feet tall, with an average build and long gray hair, which may be in a ponytail. She's wearing a black cardigan, white pants, and slippers.
Police have ended a landfill search in their investigation of a murdered Hamilton woman. They found partial remains belonging to Shalini Singh in May. The 40-year-old mental health worker was last seen going into her Hamilton apartment in December. Hamilton police believe her body was disposed of through the building's garbage chute and traced to a section of the Glanbrook landfill. Investigators started searching that landfill in February, and they stopped last Friday after no further remains were found. Investigators say they will initiate further searches if new information comes out. Singh's 32-year-old boyfriend has been charged with second-degree murder and causing an indignity to human remains.
Hamilton police have charged a 19-year-old man with careless driving after a crash on the mountain caused a water main break. A spokesperson for police say a driver hit a fire hydrant on Upper Sherman Avenue at around 10 p.m. last night, causing the water to spew. Police closed the street between Burkholder Drive to Cameo Avenue for the cleanup, which lasted throughout the night. Officials say the driver had minor injuries and was assessed at hospital.
Niagara police are looking for a driver after a crash that we told you about yesterday morning on Morning Live. A crash Sunday night near the town of Lincoln sent two people on a motorcycle to hospital, a 41-year-old man and 46-year-old woman. Police say one of the riders was still in critical condition last night. So this crash happened around 8 Sunday night near North Service Road and Bartlett Road. There were 3 vehicles involved, one of which police say sped off. A registered massage therapist in Milton has been charged with sexual assault. Police have released his photo because they believe there may be more victims. Halton police say a woman reported being assaulted during a recent visit to Massage Addict on Steeles Avenue in Milton. 52-year-old Ayman Al-Qassam has worked at other locations, including in Mississauga. A man's being treated for exposure to rabies after a bat found in the Brantford-Brant area tested positive for the virus. Grand Erie Public Health says the person exposed to the rabid bat is getting post-exposure rabies treatment. Now, the risk of contracting rabies in Ontario is low, but if the virus is left untreated, the disease is almost always fatal to humans. People are asked to avoid touching and feeding wild animals, especially those that look injured, sick, or are behaving oddly.
Sportsline NHL free agency opens at noon today, and some marquee players have already switched uniforms or re-upped with their teams. We'll start in Toronto, where the core 4 is no more. The Maple Leafs signed Mitch Marner to an 8-year contract worth $12 million a season, then traded him to Vegas for center Nick Waugh. The 28-year-old Marner spent 9 seasons with the Leafs and ranks 5th on the club's all-time points list. The Florida Panthers were busy yesterday, reportedly re-signing 37-year-old Brad Marchand to a 6-year deal worth $32 million and inking defenseman Aaron Ekblad to an 8-year package with an AAV of $6.1 million. The Oilers re-upped with blue liner Evan Bouchard for 4 years at $10.5 million per season, and Detroit re-signed Patrick Kane for 1 year at $3 million. Other impending free agents include Winnipeg's Nikolai Ehlers and Vancouver's Brock Besser. Vegas defenseman Alex Pietrangelo is stepping away from pro hockey for the time being for health reasons. In a message on X, the 35-year-old from King City, Ontario writes, "After exploring options with doctors as well as my family, it's been advised to remove the intensity of hockey to see if my body can improve so that I can return to a normal quality of life. The likelihood is low that my body will recover to the standard required to play, but I know this is the right decision." The 35-year-old has won 2 Stanley Cups with the Golden Knights and St. Louis Blues. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hit a 2-run single in a 4-run 6th inning as the Blue Jays opened a 4-game series against the Yankees with a 5-4 win. Vladdy went 2 for 4 with 3 RBI as Toronto won for the 4th time in 5 games. Jazz Chisholm and Cody Bellinger hit home runs for New York, while Aaron Judge went 0 for 2 with 2 walks. In his second start since returning from the injured list, Toronto's Max Scherzer allowed 2 runs on 3 hits over 5 innings and struck out 7. Canada's Felix Auger-Aliassime, Gabriel Diallo, and Leylah Fernandez all won their opening matches at Wimbledon. Auger-Aliassime ousted Australia's James Duckworth in 5 sets. Diallo topped Germany's Daniel Altmaier in straight sets. And Fernandez swept Great Britain's Hannah Klugman 6-1, 6-3. Canadian Carson Branstein lost her Grand Slam debut in straight sets to world number 1 Marina Sabalenka. The temperature spiked to a record high 33 Celsius yesterday. That's 12 degrees above the average daytime temperature in London for this time of year. NBA free agency is underway, but it appears that the Raptors will be relatively quiet. Canadian Nickeil Alexander-Walker has reportedly signed a 4-year contract with Atlanta worth $62 million. The 26-year-old averaged 9.4 points, 3.2 rebounds, and 2.7 assists last season. The WNBA is expanding to 3 more new cities over the next 5 years.
On behalf of the entire WNBA, I'm thrilled to welcome Cleveland and Detroit back, and to welcome Philadelphia officially to the WNBA.
Cleveland will begin play in 2028, Detroit in 2029, and Philly will join in 2030. Each will pay a record $250 million expansion fee. Toronto and Portland will join the WNBA next year. Big trade in the NFL. The Pittsburgh Steelers have acquired all-pro cornerback Jalen Ramsey and tight end Jonnu Smith from the Miami Dolphins in return for all-pro safety Minkah Fitzpatrick. The teams also swapped late-round draft picks in 2027. Fitzpatrick began his career with Miami in 2018 before he was dealt to the Steelers. Pittsburgh will be Ramsey's 4th NFL franchise.
All right, 6:11. Do I get to say it? It's the one of the month. Here we go. Yay! I look forward to that. Yeah, and Canada Day as well. So happy Canada Day. It's a fairly misty start, as you can see on some of our cameras here. That's the 403 on Waterdown Road. That's our camera. Volume is light, and volume is light all the way around the Horseshoe this morning, being a holiday. Let's go to some MTOs. Here's QEW Martindale, St. Catharines, Centennial Parkway, as we fly across the Skyway Bridge to North Shore Boulevard, just past that. Looks pretty good here. Ford Plant, nothing. Cothra, nothing as well. Please take it carefully. Yeah, it is fairly misty here this morning. We do have fairly light winds, even though Simone, who's doing reporting this morning at Spencer Smith Park, was saying it's fairly windy there. In Hamilton, the winds are fairly light, south-southwest at 9, but there's that humidity, 100%. You can see it in the atmosphere this morning. It's fairly cloudy with that mist, but look at the temperature, 21. It feels like 30 already here this morning. Air quality risk today hasn't really changed from yesterday, still in the low risk category. What we have is an approaching cold front. That is the blue line. Now it's representing the cooler air starting to flood in, and that's going to push through today. That's what could give us that chance of a shower or a thunderstorm for later on today. But by tonight, the skies are going to start to clear, and we'll have a nice, bright, sunny day for tomorrow. So today, for Canada Day, temperatures generally 25 to 28 degrees. 27 for Hamilton will feel like 32, but there's that bit of sun, but then chance of a shower or thunderstorm a little later on. It's only about a 40% chance. So. But tonight, skies are going to clear. It bodes well for the fireworks displays. Temperatures 15 to 17 to 18, depending on where you are. 14, a little cooler for Guelph and Kitchener. Tomorrow, not a bad day. 22 for the Falls, a little cool there, but temperatures anywhere from 26 to 28 degrees. And again, a humidex for the day tomorrow, about 32 degrees. So yeah, out the door this morning, 1st of July. It's fairly cloudy. It is misty. The winds are fairly light. The temperature right now 21, but it feels like 30 already. So we'll look long range coming up. Annette, right.
Okay, looking short range now. Right after the break, we're going to say good morning to Emily with a preview of what's to come in Chit Chat. And in business news, for the first time, a Canadian tanker carrying liquefied natural gas is on its way to Asia. Coming up on 6:16, and we're saying good morning to Emily with a look at what's coming up in Chit Chat.
Well, we will chat about the latest Ryan Gosling film, Project Hail Mary, which is based off a best-selling novel. And the trailer had me until the aliens showed up, and then I was like, really?
So it's not about football, is what you're saying?
No.
Okay.
It is not.
All right.
Okay. Netflix, speaking of space, Netflix and NASA are teaming up for something very special. And we'll take a look at the first official trailer for Downton Abbey, the grand finale.
We had a little tease of that yesterday, but now we're going to take a bigger look.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Okay, thanks very much. We'll see you in a bit.
Okay.
All right, in overseas trading this morning, the Canadian dollar is up 9 basis points at 73.52 cents U.S. Gold's up almost $45 an ounce. Crude oil is up 12 cents to $65.23 a barrel. Midday trading in Europe, markets are down a little bit in London, down as well in Frankfurt and Paris.
Over in Asia, markets were down in Tokyo, but up slightly in Shanghai. Hong Kong markets were closed for a holiday. And in North American markets, the TSX hit a record high, gaining 164 points ahead of today's Canada Day holiday closure. The Dow was up 275. The NASDAQ closed 96 points higher.
Well, a tanker is on its way right now across the Pacific Ocean to bring Canada's first shipment of liquefied natural gas to Asia. The tanker Gaslog Gasglow left from Kitimat in northern BC. LNG is natural gas that's chilled into a liquid so it can be transported in these specialized marine vessels. Canada is diversifying the customer base for this and other natural resources because of the strained trade relationship with the United States. LNG Canada is a joint venture between Shell and 4 partners in Asia. Its first phase is expected to produce 14 million tons of gas a year.
President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Mark Carney say trade talks are back on between our two nations after the White House claimed Carney caved to Trump and rolled back the digital services tax.
It's very simple. Prime Minister Carney in Canada caved to President Trump in the United States of America. And it was a mistake for Canada to vow to implement that tax that would have hurt our tech companies here in the United States.
The digital services tax was set to go into effect yesterday and would have charged tax on American tech companies operating in Canada, like Amazon and Google. PM Carney confirmed that trade talks are now back in the books, but wouldn't answer if he believed that he caved.
It's part of a bigger negotiation. It's something that we expected in the broader sense that would be part of the final deal.
The first payment of the digital services tax was estimated to be around $2 billion U.S.
Now, today's a deadline that Prime Minister Mark Carney had given the federal government to break down interprovincial trade barriers across the country. And a report from the Canadian Federation of Independent Business says the federal government and many provinces are moving in the right direction. The Federation grades the feds at a B and gives Ontario the second highest mark at an A. The business organization says provinces are laying the groundwork for free trade, but warns that they need to take a united approach for this to work.
And when we see provinces have different jurisdictions or recognize things slightly differently, it can create a lot of confusion for a business owner and ultimately frustration, which might lead to not bothering to expand or take the job at all. And that's something we don't want to see happen.
And the Canadian Federation of Independent Business also notes it's going to take time to enact these agreements reached between the provinces before free trade can officially begin across Canada.
The stock price for the Brampton-based maker of the Canadarm has hit a new 52-week high, just over $36 a share. Shares rose after the federal government extended a contract with MDA Space for maritime surveillance and security. The space company has a satellite information service that allows Canada and other nations to monitor and enforce illegal fishing. Through its dark vessel detection system, it can tell if a boat has turned off its tracking system and slipped into an area where fishing isn't allowed. The satellite service also helps countries understand historical fishing patterns and the impact of climate change.
Novo Nordisk Canada is recalling a batch of its Ozempic injection pins because of a possible cracked glass cartridge. The recall affects the 1 milligram, 3 milliliter Ozempic pens. Health Canada is asking users to check their medication and report any side effects. The recall is considered to be a type 2 recall, meaning that the risk of serious health problems is fairly low.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Brian is going to be back with traffic and your 7-day forecast, including what's happening here on Canada Day.
Good morning, just about 6:24 on this first morning of July, Canada Day. We have no traffic to talk about at all. We'll flip you through some cameras just to give you an idea. QEW, Glendale and St. Catharines. Nope. Top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge, still very light volume, even as we go through Burlington, Oakville, into Mississauga at Sheraton. The 403 at Burnham Thorpe is doing fine. Now, it's fairly misty. There could be some fog patches around this morning, so be really careful if you are driving, particularly in outlying areas where the temperature might be a touch cooler. So let's check those temperatures right now. 21 degrees already here this morning. It's a warm, muggy start. As I said, fairly foggy as well. That humidity is up there at 100%. So 21 for not only Hamilton, Grimsby, Mississauga, and Humidex already at 39. Is what it feels like this morning. So 19 sitting in Toronto at the moment. 39, that might be just a little high, I think. So those are our sun times and records for today. Seasonal temperatures 26 and 15 for the overnight low. So that shows you where we are at the moment. We are way above seasonal to start a morning. So 27 today, Humidex 32. So what we're looking at is that cold front to go through. That's going to drop the heat. It's going to drop the humidity, but it's also probably going to give us a shower or thunderstorm. Now, it's a slim chance of a shower or thunderstorm later. Skies will clear tonight down to 16. Tomorrow, 28. Humidex 32. Lovely sunny day. As we get into Thursday, again, sunny but cooler. 25, 26 for Friday. 30 degrees on Saturday with lovely sunshine. Sunday, chance of a shower. Temperature comes down just a bit. It's forecast. Annette, Rick.
Okay, thanks very much, Brian. We'll move over Fashion Week. This runway in Columbia belongs to the donkey.
The small town of Monikira in central Colombia
Shrek and Fiona
held its 19th annual donkey contest. What began as a way to honor local farmers and their trusty sidekicks, who still help transport goods through the countryside, has grown into a full-blown celebration. On Sunday, the donkeys swapped saddles for style. Organizers and participants say the event is about shining a spotlight on the vital role donkeys continue to play in rural life. Highlights included a donkey costume parade and a tongue-in-cheek braying competition. Several prizes were handed out, though the real winner may have been the town's community spirit.
Who has
Shrek
to
included.
Yes. Who has to do cleanup after that parade, though? Yeah.
Probably not a team of donkeys, I'll tell you
Yeah,
that.
no.
Yes. Someone's got to do it.
Yes. But they are so invaluable, though, in
absolutely.
areas where vehicles can't get in.
Yep. And there's no roads
Yeah,
to
yeah.
begin with, yeah. Good on the donkeys. Stay with us. More to come after the break.